Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, HollywoodShono here, to give you another Injustice Gods Among Us video. And in this video, we talk about which 3-star gear to upgrade first. In this video, we're not going to be talking about any of the 4-star gear that can go up to 5-star gear. We're going to be focusing on the 3-star gear that can go up to 4 stars. Now, obviously, there are a couple really good gear items and some really powerful ones, but we're going to talk about all the gear items. The only 3-star gear item I do not have is Shazam. So, one of the things that is super important when it comes to gear, obviously, is the ability to heal. So, a gear item like Mutated Bone Spikes or, for example, the Knife Collection are one of the best gear items in the game to actually level up first, because you're going to get more reliability on special damage when using special ones. If a special 2 gets blocked with the LexCorp helmet, it's almost like you did nothing. Sure, you get the 25% heal, but 2 special 1s is 30% healing, and when you're trying to go from 2 to 3 bars, there's a lot more power that you're basically losing if you're holding out. Now, other gear items that can be really strong, obviously, are gear items like the Promethium Langsword that are double usefulness as far as the abilities that are good for yourself and abilities that are good for Deathstroke. Arc Abortion's Deathstroke can benefit quite a bit from the Promethium Langsword, and if you're focusing on special, sometimes even pairing the Cloak of Destiny, if you're not running Luchador Bane, is actually better than throwing on, say, League of Assassins Demonizing the Ibis Stick for Deathstroke, because he's actually going to get more benefit from that. Now, a gear item like the Nanocarbon Mask is amazing because it gives you more crit chance on Special 1 and damage on crit attacks. This is a really good gear item, and Batgirls usually do have a lower health pool, so the Nanocarbon Mask will also help offset that. So, if you have Batgirl and you have the Nanocarbon Mask, that's a really good one to upgrade. Also, if they ever do release a more powerful Nightwing, this gear item is going to be insane. It'll be 30% chance, or 25% unblockable chance, 45% crit on basic attacks, and 70% damage boost on basic attacks. So if you're running a Nightwing, that's a really good gear item. So Yellow Power Ring is kind of one of those garbage gear items because you get a damage boost to Special 2, Life Drain on Special 2, but Evolve Disable Enemy Specialist 15% chance on Special 1. So the only one that can actually benefit from the Life Drain is Sinestro, but there's better options out there, like the Soul Taker Sword, which gives you damage drain, which is actually just as strong, if not better, than the Yellow Power Ring if you knock somebody out. And you also have unblocked basic attacks. Sinestro is a slower attacker, so really situational use for that. The Dud.357 Revolvers is a really good gear item. Everybody should have that gear because of the patch 2.11 that actually introduced the Suicide Squad characters. And this was one of the daily bonuses, I believe the first daily bonus that you got. So putting this on a Harley Quinn is a no-brainer. Sometimes even not using the 3-piece 4th World is actually a better option because you're guaranteeing a stronger heal. And the 4th World Mace does absolutely nothing except for triggering the heal on Special 1. But the only time you use the Special 1 is with Suicide Squad Harley Quinn when you have the unblockable effect. Otherwise, you generally just use Special 2 for support, and you can actually bypass it. Or you can just throw 2-piece LexCorp on Harley Quinn and call it a day. So gear items like Deadshot's Ballistic Mask, in my opinion, are crap because only Deadshot benefits from the Power Drain. And if you're running Power Drain on Special 2, why don't you run the 4th World Mace, where you actually get more damage on Special 2 along with area damage. So gear like that sucks. We're not also going to be talking about the 3-star gear that you can get from the Dawn of Justice pack because the only relevant gear item there is Clark Kent's glasses. The other gear items suck. Wonder Woman's Lariat does give you a power drain chance on tag-in, which can be useful. However, remember, it can be hard countered by LexCorp, so you tag in, you can actually give somebody else power, and the heal self is actually weaker on this gear item. You could use the Kryptonian Battle Suit, which is an amazing Special 2 gear item, because you heal self 25%, 22% max health increase. So on a Superman, if you're running Special 2s, this isn't a terrible gear item. However, I still prefer using a Knife Collection or Bone Spikes just so you have more basic damage as well. So another good gear item is the Venom Harness because you can heal self or 15% when it's fully maxed out. You have 22% additional health. So basically, this is the defensive version of the Venom Harness. A lot of people ran this gear item when the 4th World was 2 pieces on Blackest Night Martian Manhunter just to make him more annoying to be eliminated. Or if you went offensively, you would run the Ibis Stick. But since that mechanism isn't there, it isn't a big deal. And the only one who gains From the power drain is the card that would not use it, or Arkham Origins Bane. Everybody else would probably just use Special 1, so not really a good gear item there. Now the Steel Claws is an amazing gear item on Arkham Knight Catwoman, because more damage on crit effects also affects the damage over time effects. And when Arkham Knight Catwoman gets more damage on crits, that's amazing. So damage boost to Special 2 also affects the bleed damage as well. And crit chance on basic attacks kind of is like the LexCorp chestplate. You only get 45% versus 70%. But if you have augmented 50% crit chance, it doesn't really matter. That's going to be good enough. Martian Garb is another gear item for Special 2. It's basically the same thing as Superman's gear item. If you throw it on Blackest Night Martian Manhunter, you gain more unblockable on basic attacks. But if you're running Blackest Night Martian Manhunter and you don't have Fourth World, this is a really good alternate and a really good one. So the Joker's gear item is pretty bad. Damage boost to Special 1, disable enemy specials chance on Special 1. And the Joker gets a power drain chance on Special 2. Again, this is one of those clunky gear items that I really don't like. Like, if you're putting this on the Joker, you would obviously be using the Special 1 on Suicide Squad the Joker to try to get a power gain, and then be able to use a Special 2. So, Suicide Squad the Joker can make use of this gear item. There are obviously better options, but adding damage to your Special 1 is not a terrible one, but still not a gear item that I would recommend. So, Green Arrow has the area damage kind of like Ares on the Special 2. Except this one also gives a damage boost on Special 2. The problem with Green Arrows is that they're all slow, and all of them are pretty understated. Like Silver Green Arrow, in my opinion, is the worst silver card in the game. Crit chance on Special 1. If you want crit chance on Special 1, you're going to use other options like the Nanocarbon Mask, which actually gives you more health. It would give you another stat, or you would use the LexCorp Gauntlets that could give you a heal and crit and stun chance on tagging. So not a good item there. The LexCorp Exosuit is a really interesting one because blocking stops more damage. The stun mechanic is on Special 2. So a chance to stun on Special 2 is a really interesting gear item, but the problem with that is if you're stunning on Special 2, you would have to use the gear item, for example, on Arkham or Blackest Night Batman that has a chance of unblockable Special 2s. That way, if it doesn't get blocked, it doesn't feel like it's wasted. So if you're using the LexCorp Exosuit, I highly recommend it on the Blackest Night characters because they're the ones that are more than likely going to get the reliable chance to stun. Which, of course, if you're running stun mechanics, you need the Cloak of Destiny as well on somebody else, and I don't think that really works too well. So the Kryptonian Pistol is area damage on Special 1. The only other gear item that really does that is a much more powerful one, the League of Assassins Death Knights. However, Zod does have a pretty good Special 1. I have not promoted Zod or this gear item, but if it's anything like the Fourth World Mace with Ares, both of the area damage effects stack, and obviously 50% from Special 1 from the League of Assassins Adept Knives is really powerful, and if you can add on another 25%, it might be crazy doing 75% damage, especially comboing it with the Ibisic. I could see that combo actually working and just negating healing. Obviously, you would not be using this gear item on Zod for the crit on Special 2. And you really don't use this gear item on that otherwise, but on Zod, I could see it working on Special 1s. Now, the Kamcord Garb is a way you can get Life Drain and crit on Special 1, and Black Adam gets more health. While this is a really well-designed gear item, the problem is that Black Adam Special 1s, especially with Kamcord Black Adam, just don't do enough damage. Like the Special 2 on Kamcord Black Adam is way better than the Electric Burst on Special 1. So is it worth using the Kamcord Garb? No. Personally, I recommend using the LexCorp chestplate with Ra's al Ghul Scimitar and the LexCorp helmet, and you have defensive tools. You don't gain more health, but you have a lot more survivability. You get burn damage, you get more crit damage. It's just overall better. So if you don't have that, this is not a bad gear item by any stretch of your imagination. You can access the Life Drain unpromoted. Obviously, you get an additional 10% when you have it fully augmented, so 30% is way better than 20%. And the max health increase is always appreciated because that's more shield damage for Regime Black Adam. So it's a good gear item. The problem is there are better options. Now the Icebound Necklace is one of those gear items that do work really well because it has two good stats. You obviously don't care about disabling enemy specials, although with Killer Frost you might, because if you can use her Special 1, Cold as Ice, if you can disable enemy specials giving you time to power drain, for example, if you're running Rebirth Jessica Cruz with Killer Frost, who has an insane combo ender. You might want to consider using a special one with the Icebound Necklace, but even if not, you have two really good stats on Killer Frost. The life drain on special 2 and power generation increase. So this is a really good item for Killer Frost, not so much on anybody else, because there are better options for power generation, especially the League of Assassins, the Depth Knives, and the Ibis Stick. So Hyperspeed Suit is a gear item for the Flash, and you're probably going to be seeing this gear item quite a bit, because the Wally West Flash multiplayer season is pretty soon to be upon us. So this is a really interesting gear item, because on the Flash it's actually really good. You want more damage on Special 1, and obviously more crit chance is more damage. Unblockable chance on basic attacks is really powerful. This is also an amazing gear item when you're using the Enchantress gear item, because when you're running Metahuman the Flash, for example, you do the Special 1 like normal. Now, the Enchantress gear blocks you from doing specials, and if you try to block the effects from the Enchantress gear, Metahuman the Flash is going to rip your face off, and, of course, because of that, the Enchantress gear with the Hyperspeed Suit and another basic damage gear item that causes crit is a really powerful combination. Of course, you'd make Metahuman the Flash offensively, so you'd probably have to run something like the Knife Collection or something else. You will get a little bit of a heal from the Enchantress gear, but you probably want a little bit more, so you probably want to use the Knife Collection or the Bone Spikes with this gear item and the Enchantress gear item, and it's pretty powerful. When you think about it, when you do a special with Metahuman the Flash, normally the opponent could just do abilities, but if you're getting hit by the Enchantress gear, you don't have that option, and that'll allow Metahuman the Flash's combo to go off a lot more. So when you combine this gear item with the Enchantress gear item, it's pretty scary, and it actually works really good. Trust me on that. Now, Lobo's gear item is also one of the best non-League of Assassins and Depth Knives gear items for Special 1. You get a direct damage boost and you get crit. A character like Batgirl does have crit damage and crit chance. That's actually better overall, because crit damage is one of the most powerful stats in the game. So if you can stack crit damage, it's really powerful. Now, the weird thing about this is Lobo gains area damage from Special 2. And this is more powerful than the Fourth World Mace, which I believe only goes up to 15%, but you can stack them together. The problem with Lobos is that their Special 2s are usually pretty bad, and in the case of Bounty Hunter Lobo, you need power generation to be able to utilize his passive ability. The problem is Lobo is a horrible slow attacker, so unless they change that, Lobo is not going to use this gear item. Trust me on that. So the Green Power Ring is a blocking gear item. Blocking stops more damage. And Green Lantern, chance to reflect Special 2 while blocking. It is a chance to reflect Special 2. Disable enemy specials, 15% chance on Special 1. If you don't have said item called Scarecrow's Ventilator Mask, which is a guaranteed 100% chance to block 40% special damage, and you gain power for every special block, this is actually way better than Green Lantern's gear item, because you're actually getting more reflect damage. If you combine this with two-piece LexCorp, it's absolutely insane. Just for the blocking specials. You don't even need anything else. Two-piece LexCorp Scarecrow's Ventilator Mask is actually better than throwing Rational Ghost Scimitar on Red Sun Green Lantern, and I highly recommend it. So now back to the 3-star gears we have the disc. This gear item is the only gear item that reflects 100% special damage when blocking, and it's for all specials 1 and 2. So this gear item obviously is really good for static, because you get more area damage from Special 2. And it goes all the way up to 17%, which is a weird number. And you also get 24% blocking, whereas the other 3-star items get only 22%. Now, this is the only gear item that has the Reflect All Specials on the 3-star gear item. So as far as a defensive gear item, this is one of the best blocking gear items that's a 3-star gear item you can get in the entire game. So Cyborg's gear item is a rather weird one as well. You get max health and heal self on Cyborg. Now, Cyborg himself would actually gain a power drain chance. This one obviously screams using Silver Cyborg that can generate a ridiculous amount of power. But why would you want power drain chance on Special 1? I don't really think it's that good. If they ever make a Cyborg Special 1 that doesn't suck, you might actually see this played, but most people would actually use this gear item for max health and self-heal, but we have two other gear items that do that. Martian Manhunters and Superman. So you really got to pick and choose what you get. Obviously, if you get this item, you don't have Martian Manhunters and Superman's, definitely a considerable one for healing. Now, the custom pistols is the only gear item that actually gives you unblockable chance to basic attacks if you're not using the Soul Taker Sword. Now, it is a small chance. You're only going to get 11% unblockable chance on basic attacks. But before the Soul Taker Sword was introduced, this was the only way to get unblockable chance on basic attacks. The unblockable attack does stack with the Blackest Night Batman synergy. It also stacks with the Soul Taker Sword. It also stacks with Doomsday's gear item. So you can get a lot of unblockable chance if you try. Obviously, you wouldn't do a lot of damage, but the custom pistols does give you more basic damage. And on the Arkham Knight, it is one of the best gear items. You could even use Ra's al Ghul's Scimitar, and if you're going to have augmented Arkham Knight, your third item could be crit chance, and you'd be perfectly fine. You could even use the Cloak of Destiny, or the Gauntlets of Azrael for healing. I'm sorry, the Gauntlets of Azrael for healing, and it works just fine. So the Battle Mace is an interesting one as well because it's basic damage and stun chance on Special 1. So this is a pretty good gear item if you're using a team with Red Sun Batman, who has a 50% unblockable chance on Special 1. This is also a pretty good gear item for Ares. It's also a good gear item for Batgirl because it'll also give you a bigger chance to land a stun if you don't land one on the initial hits and it's not blocked. So on Hawkgirl, you take more damage on Special 2, and honestly, because you have the 50% damage boost of basic attacks, this gear item is acceptable when you're using Hawkgirl, you're using Ra's al Ghul's Scimitar, and you're using the Gauntlets of Azrael because you have two basic damage gear items. You have an additional effect on Special 2, and you also have an effect to have an increased stun chance on Special 1. It's not bad. Not a bad gear item, definitely a good one. And we also have the Azarathian Cloak, which is absolutely amazing for Raven because all three stats work for her. Power generation increase, crit chance on Special 2. Obviously, if you're running the Blackest Night team, this is a good gear item. On all the Ravens, it's really good. Even on Teen Titans Raven, this is a really good gear item because your Special 2 is going to heal regardless, and you're also going to get more crit chance on it. Now, I'm not sure if the effect can also crit, but if it can, it's an amazing effect. Really good gear item, probably one of the best in slot for Raven, unless you're using Gauntlets of Azrael, Ra's al Ghul's Scimitar, and another basic damage gear item. That's the only reason you would not use this gear item. Otherwise, it's pretty good. So, we have stun chance on Special 2 and damage boost to Special 2. Aquaman, opponent's team takes more damage from Special 1. Honestly, if that was area damage on Special 2, not Special 1, Aquaman's gear item would be really good on him. Obviously, if you're using the Ibis Stick along with this gear item, you can get a lot of damage on Special 2. There aren't a whole lot of area of effects for Special 2. So, keep that in mind. Obviously, Aquaman's Special 1 doesn't do that much damage, so you're not going to get much benefit from it. So, it's an okay gear item. It's not really that good on Aquaman. So, that pretty much sums it up for all of the 3-star gear that is not from the Dawn of Justice gear locker, which is Clark Kent's glasses, which is, in my eyes, the best one because you get 18% power generation, you get 30% crit chance, and Superman always disables an enemy special. So, this is not a bad gear item when you're using, if you don't have the Ibis Stick. This is a really good substitute. If you have the League of Assassins Adeptized, if you don't have one of those two gear items, this is a really good substitute, especially for Superman. As long as you have like a knife collection or something for supplemental healing. Wonder Woman's Lariat, again, not really a good gear item. You can get better supplemental effects. Obviously, the power drain on Taggin can be good, but with a lot of the high-level players using the other gear items, it's not really so good. And Batman's Hooded Cloak is the highest chance to stun on Taggin, which is 40%. But why wouldn't you use the Cloak of Destiny? If you really need health increase, I think we actually missed a few gear items because we did not talk about Batman's actual gear item, which I know I have somewhere and I did not max it out. Bulletproof Batsuit, we did miss that one. So this gear item is rather interesting because you get max health, more damage on crit attacks. So if, for example, Arkham Knight Batman comes in with an Arkham Assault, you have a higher chance to crit on that, and every battering that he throws gives you more damage on crit. And he already has Wayne Tech that gives you 30% more crit chance, among other things. So this gear item can be really good with the Cloak of Destiny. Obviously, it's really good with the League of Assassins Adeptized and the Ibis Stick. I also run Enchantress gear instead of special damage because being able to block out specials from the opponent can be really powerful. And let's double check and make sure that we did not miss any 3-star gear. And the Blade of the War God is also a really good gear item because its 70% damage boost of basic attack starts at 50%. The crit chance you get when it gets evolved. Ares' gear item also means the opponent takes area damage from special too. So 20% damage. If your Godsmack does 100,000 damage, the opponent will take 20,000 damage. You can also combine this with the Fourth World Mace and add a little bit more damage to your special too. However, it's really controversial if you want to go with the Fourth World Mace, break up a set. I personally like the Ibis Stick. That way, whoever comes in will also take burn damage as well. So it's a really powerful gear item on Ares. And obviously, if you can find ways to up that, sometimes with Ares it's better to just up the basic damage. His heavy attack is not that hard to get off and is definitely a good gear item. And also, one other gear item that I missed in the initial video is the Omega Battleplate. The Omega Battleplate blocking stops up to 22% more damage, crit chance on Special 1, and Darkside has a chance to reflect Special 1 when blocking. This is a really good hybrid gear item because blocking is a defensive stat and crit chance is an offensive stat. So, for example, if you don't have the 3-piece Fourth World for Red Sun Wonder Woman, this is an amazing substitute. This is also really good on anybody that's throwing around Special 1s, as it does give you more crit chance. This is a really good gear item. Blocking is also really important past Wave 10 in Survivor. Obviously, if you don't have maxed out cards, this is really good in lower waves of Survival, because even blocking 20% more damage is a big deal, as you take so much damage off of specials, especially in waves like 7 and 8, which are a little bit harder to heal it. If you like this video showing off the best 3-star gear to upgrade first and what you should go for, which would be Raven's gear item, Killer Frost gear item, Knife Collection, the Bone Spikes, and Dual 357 Revolvers, or even the Kryptonian Battle Suit, please give this video a like rating, comment, subscribe, share this video amongst your friends, and as a favorite, check out my other Injustice Gods Among Us videos playlist, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, which are all HollywoodShono. And the NetherRealm comment is also really good on Mortal Kombat Scorpion. Have a wonderful day, kids.
www.youtube.com/HollywoodShono. Subscribe, bitches!